Hey guys, Tamao here from Pokemon TCG HQ, and I'm going to bring you a deck analysis video of a deck I played against once or twice in Japan, and it absolutely destroyed me, so I thought it'd be interesting to see how it'd get on here. So the deck itself is Raichu-Crobat. Doesn't inherently have much synergy between them, but this deck got an amazing card in the new set, Roaring Skies, which is Skyfield. So it allows me to bench up to 8 Pokemon on my bench. So this is amazing with Raichu. It allows it to hit 160 damage, which isn't quite enough to one-hit KO EXs, but we can modify the damage. And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to Silver Bangle to hit the odd number instead of Muscle Band, because you can usually one-hit KO anything that's not an EX already anyway. So this is going to take up to 190 damage, and this is why we have Crobats. So Golbat and Crobat, their bites allow you to put 2 or 3 damage counters wherever you like, and this will just help us reach the one-hit KOs on Mega Pokemon that are going to be running rampant in the format right now. So we'll have a look at the rest of the deck. So Shaman seems like a very obvious inclusion. We can maybe play 4 of these, but I've put 3 in for now. It's going to let us draw through our deck, have ridiculous turns where we just continuously draw. And it's also fills up a bench slot, so it's the perfect Pokemon. We also have Jirachi, a one-off Jirachi, which I still think is decent in this format. And the actual main use for this is potentially getting a turn 1 Wally off. So we're going to play 1 Wally as well, which lets us evolve straight away even on the first turn. So if we do go second, we can actually technically attack with Raichu turn 1, which is going to put on a lot of pressure on your opponent. As for the rest of the cards, they're all pretty standard. We only play 4 double colourless energy. We don't really need any other energies to attack with this deck, so we're going to leave it at that, and we can burn through our deck fairly quickly so we can draw into those double colourless energies. We're going to play some Super Scoop Ups. It synergizes well with Crobat and Shaman, so we're going to throw some of those in our deck, and also include a Scoop Up Cyclone, which is basically just a guaranteed Super Scoop Up. Other than that, just a Lysander's Trump card, because we'll be burning through our deck. 1N, I'm expecting this to be quite an aggressive deck, so we won't be falling behind too much, and a couple of Trainer's Mail, which will just help us thin through our deck a little bit extra and hopefully dig for the crucial parts of the combo. Other cards that we could have added into the deck that I haven't on this is Execute. Execute's probably the main one, because the main way of disrupting this deck is getting rid of the Skyfield with your own Stadium and making your opponent have to discard 3 Pokemon. So Execute's perfect for that, because you can just get it back from the discard and put it on the bench. Another one is Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime really helps with all these low HP Pokemon. You've got 40, 110 and 90 HP EXs. They're going to possibly die on the bench, especially to stuff like Landorus and Bats. So Mr. Mime could be a nice inclusion. Another inclusion could be Ninetales, just to lock in Skyfield, but that seems like quite a lot of investment to just keep the Stadium in play. And you'd have to modify the deck a lot, but you could also play Leafeon. And in fact, it might not be worth playing the Crobat line if you're going to play Leafeon. It might just be worth playing a Raichu Leafeon deck in that case. But Leafeon is definitely going to be a strong partner of Raichu, as it covers Seismitoad very well, and we expect Seismitoad to be very popular in the upcoming format. So we are going to go into a game very shortly, so I'll see you then. So we have found a match against Nagati, playing a Grass Lightning colourless deck. Not a meta deck I know that would play that combination. Maybe Leafeon, Raichu, Shaman, actually. Could very possibly be that. In that case, I think I'd have the advantage in that matchup, because Leafeon isn't very useful, whereas Crobats can do quite a lot of work. So we both start Shaman, not really showing anything there. I do have an Ultra Ball, which is nice, so I can thin my hand and start drawing with Shamans. Or get a Jirachi. Actually, I'd probably get a Pikachu to attach to double colourless energy, actually. So we do see a Trainer's Mail from my opponent. I don't know what he got, unfortunately, so I still don't know what deck he's actually playing, but it is Leafeon. So I very much expect the Raichu Leafeon deck. And we see the Pikachu, so that confirms it. So it's a Pikachu Leafeon Raichu deck. Raichu, obviously very strong against both Yveltal and Rayquaza in this format. He does go for the turn 1 Wally, so he's putting the pressure on straight away. He gets a Tails and a Scoop Up and has another Shaman anyway, so it's not too big a deal. He gets to draw 5 cards from that, which is fantastic for him. So I'm looking at my turn, my play next turn, and I think I'm gonna have to repeat ball for a Shaman and Ultra Ball for the Pikachu. We do see, I think he plays 2 Executes. Okay, that makes sense. I think I'd only play 1 in a deck like this, but 2 Executes is more than fine. Just have the Skyfield. And he gets both his Executes back, so I'm assuming he has another Ultra Ball. Yes, he does. Which could probably get either a Shaman or an Eevee. I'd probably get a Shaman if I was him. Just try and get as much as possible. He'd just get a Pikachu. I don't think that's too important. He doesn't have an energy to attack this turn, so I'd assume he has a supporter in his hand, otherwise I would have definitely held that Ultra Ball. I have 2 Ultra Balls now, that's useful. So we'll see what we can get with this repeat ball. Only 1 Shaman, and hopefully there are some Pikachus and Raichus in the deck and not prized. Yeah, I saw a decent amount there. So we'll get that Shaman. It's frustrating. Sometimes I do want to play 4 Shaman, because if you do start Shaman and have 1 prize, then you basically only have access to draw of 1, which isn't ideal. We're going to discard cards that we really cannot use. Get the Pikachu and attach a DC to it. And then start drawing for Shaman. There we go. We can draw for 4 cards this turn. I think my opponent realised we're pretty much playing the same deck. We do have another Pikachu to bench. I'd love to get some Zubats out, just don't know how feasible that would be. We'll spread the resources around. He is playing Muscle Band over Silver Bangle, so he does have a bit of an advantage, but Raichu is not the hardest to knock out. I think we have to go for a Jirachi here. And I'd get a chorus from this. It's going to get me 8 cards, which would be fantastic. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get the Jirachi. If I had a Scoop Up Cyclone, I could actually just go for the Wally here, which would be cool, but let's get that chorus. Chorus for 8. And we'll go from there. I didn't really want to discard the Raichu. Raichu's going to be very important in this matchup. Get a Super Scoop Up. There's not much I really want to use it, and I have no way of getting Zubats. Unfortunately, Repeat Ball does not help with that. I'm going to get a Pikachu with that though, whilst I can. I will save the Super Scoop Up and just end my turn here. I'm very much on the back foot, but he still needs to be able to retreat the Shaman, Super Scoop it up maybe, and into the Raichu to attack with it, because he didn't have an energy to attach last turn. He has the Megaphone. I'm not too concerned about that. The Bangle's not doing much for me this match. He has a Raichu to evolve, and actually only has Acrobike. He just get roller skates from it, and he gets head, so he's on his way now. And Trainer's Mail, so he's playing a full-on speed engine basically. We see all 3 of those cards used in conjunction. So yeah, I'm a bit dubious of his play last turn, then I really think he should have held on to Ultra Ball. He's getting Ultra Ball now. Benching that 3rd Pikachu wasn't crucial, and he pretty much put himself in a position where he's actually going to go for roller skates, and if he gets Tails he can't Ultra Ball this turn, so... Oh, of course he has Executes, yes. I just assume we're playing the same list, because we're just facing the same cards, so... He does have Executes to be able to use Ultra Ball for free, and he can Shaman. He does play Catcher, that's interesting. So Tails on that. I don't think he can complain too much about Tails, because he did get a very crucial roller skates heads at the start of the turn, which a Tails on that would have basically meant game over, I do believe. So we'll see if he gets anything. It looks like he's struggling to really get anything out. He's VS Secret now, just to evolve Pikachu into Raichu, which is a very weak supporter for the turn. And if he doesn't actually attach an energy, then he's very far behind. We'll see if he does do anything. As I said, this deck only plays four double colorless energy, so you can run out fairly quickly. He hasn't even run out, he just doesn't have access to them. He has computer search though, so he has double colorless if he wishes to use that. But he doesn't really have a switching card, I believe. Like a deck with this would only play something like Super Scoop Up. And he's going to go for the catcher again, and he gets it this time. We'll see if he has any way of actually retreating out the Shaman after he makes his decision. So he does go for that. He does target the Pikachu of the energy, and he has a bicycle, so he doesn't yet. And if he doesn't actually knock this Pikachu out, then he's actually done me a favour by helping me get Shaman out of the active. And yeah, he doesn't have a switch card in the end. So I have a number of ways I could approach this turn. I'm definitely going to be evolving both of these Pokemon. It's now a case of whether I want to target the Shaman or the Raichus, and I think targeting the Shaman will put me so far ahead in the prize race that he can't really come back by knocking out Raichu turn after turn. So I think I will not use my Lysander this turn. I won't even use my Super Scoop Up. I think I will just Wally into another. Wally into Raichu seems weak. I do want another double colorless energy, just so that if he does revenge KO my Raichu, which he will, I've got a revenge KO in his own Raichu, and it'll basically be a Raichu war from there. So I think I'm gonna have to VS Seeker for Chorus. It's gonna get me a lot of cards. It's 11 cards, which is great. I will also play down my Bangle now. I'll play it onto the Pikachu. I don't need Bangle to knock out this Shaman. It's very, very, very weak to Raichu right now. And hope for a double colorless energy off this. I do not get it, unfortunately. I still don't get a Zubat, which is frustrating. I do get the Raichu. There's potential to maybe pick off a Pikachu with snipe damage, which would be nice. It's frustrating, but you've got to play with what you're dealt with. So we'll discard some supporters that we definitely cannot use and get that Zubat that we've been looking for. So I can start evolving it into Golbat and Crobat very soon. And we'll go for the Scoop Up. Heads. So I'll pick up Shaman. Doesn't really draw me any cards. But I can draw cards this turn if I want to. I really do want double colorless energy. But I'll just save the Shaman in my hand and hope I draw it. It gives me another out to draw into if I do get end, because I'm going 2 prizes behind without the double colorless. I actually draw it from prizes, so maybe I had some prized. And there's another Zubat, so those are 2 very good prizes if I don't get end this turn. And if I do get end, then I Super Scoop Up the Shaman, so there's another Shaman in my deck if I need it. He does actually play Super Scoop Up. That's very useful information, because I would look to put in some snipe damage on the bench, and hopefully picking off one of his Pokemon just with residual snipe damage, but that might not be a play that I can make anymore. I think it's still a play that I'd have to make, but I might not be able to do that as much as I'd like to. So we'll use this Raichu to knock out this Raichu, this active Raichu. I've got all the Zubats in the world now. So I'm actually going to not really play much from my hand this turn. Just going to evolve to Golbat and put some pressure on the benched Raichu. I will do it to the one with energy actually. It gives me the option of another way of knocking it out next turn. If he can't Super Scoop Up that one, because then he loses the energy attachment that he already put down. And it's looking like I might have to attack with Crobat this match at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if I do have to do that. Again, my hand is everything I need it to be apart from a double colour Senju, so I'm gonna Circle Circuit and knock out the Raichu. 6 Pokemon on my bench, so that's 120 damage. And I am still up 2 prizes. That's a Pikachu from the prizes. That would be very useful, as I might not have to attack with Crobat anymore. He does flip tails on roller skates, so maybe he doesn't have anything for the rest of the turn, but with the number of trainers that it looks like he runs, I would be surprised if that was the case. We'll see what his turn plays out like. He'd ideally want another double colourless energy. He does propagate, so I'm assuming he's going to play an Ultra Ball here. Oh, he actually needs to propagate for damage with a Circle Circuit. That's unfortunate. And he has to start powering up Raichu with Grass Energy, which is an advantage his deck does have. So he knocks me out with that. I've got my free retreat Raichu that I might as well promote active. And I'm going to start dropping damage counters everywhere. So we'll bench the Pikachu. We'll bench the Golbat. We'll put 2 on active. I could actually just knock out the Execute, which should be pretty strong. But that Execute's always going to be there. I think I will just save that. If I put 3 on this, then I can scoop up Cyclone and evolve another Zubat into a Golbat and knock it out, which is a pretty strong play. So I will do that. Which has made my decision of not Juniper all that away very strong, because I can now cleanly knock this thing out without having to attack at all, which is great. So we'll evolve the other Zubat into a Golbat, put the last 2 damage on. I don't think my opponent's very happy. And we'll take a prize for that. It's a Shaman. Not hugely useful. He does promote Execute, and I think I'm just gonna leave it there. There's not much I need to do. Yep, I will be leaving it there this turn. I will retreat into Zubat and just pass. That's an expendable Pokemon for me. So next turn I can always just snipe off the Crobat. He has to retreat it in order to be able to attack, in which case I can always just drop the Crobat and knock it out on the bench. He benches an Eevee, which I don't mind. It's not doing anything to my board right now because I have 0 energy. And it looks like he's drawing dead. And I do get the Lysander. So it's just an interesting turn. I could Lysander and Eevee up and snipe the Execute down. Which seems like a play I'd like to make. And then if I draw into a double colourless energy of the Shaman, then I just win off that. So I think I will do that. Eevee's going to be another awkward Pokemon to retreat. So let's evolve into a Crobat, kill that Execute and see what we get from prizes. It's a Juniper, which is useless. We'll roll with that. We'll Shaman for 1. Why not? We'd get a Super Scoop Up, so heads on this and is game over. We can just evolve Golbat into Crobat, put 3 damage on the active, and evolve the Zubat that we had earlier into Golbat to win the game. So yeah, I hope that showcased a bit about what the deck can do. It was unfortunate to get the mirror, I guess, but it's still interesting, I think. This deck can be very explosive. It can draw badly as well though, because it has a lot of evolution lines and you might not be able to play them down for your Shaman. So I think it's an interesting deck to try around with. It's interesting in the meta as well because the Lightning hits a very good type right now. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the deck analysis and the video to accompany it, and I'll see you next time.